Well, hi everyone, Shaun Humphries here. Welcome to All Things Retirement. Well, in this installment, I'm going to talk about a very important topic related to estate planning. You know, when I'm working with my client families, I count it as a real privilege. Our team has the great privilege of walking beside our clients as they go through various life transitions, and many of those transitions have financial implications. One such transition, unfortunately, is the loss of a loved one. So if you go through an experience of losing a partner or spouse, it can be very, very stressful and traumatic. And of course, what comes with it are financial decisions. So I want to talk about just a few of the decision points you need to consider if you go through that very, very emotionally trying event of losing a loved one, and what things you should be thinking about and attending to if you find yourself in that situation. So I think you'll find the basic tips helpful. Now, if you're new to our channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're posting content all the time on various aspects of overall retirement planning and wealth planning. And if you don't want to miss the content, hit subscribe. And if you like the video, make sure you click like. Okay, let's take a look at some of the basic tips that you should consider. And this could be relevant for you if you've recently lost a partner or spouse, or if you are someone who's helping a friend or family member navigate this particular transition. Now, the first thing I would say is I would really encourage you, if you're working with someone who's going through this experience, is to encourage them during this very distressing period to lean on their loved ones, to lean on family, to ask them for help. You're going through a lot of emotion and feelings, and you need time to heal. And one of the ways that you'll heal is by having your family and having people around you that can offer some assistance. And of course, get professional assistance if you need it. A therapist or counselor could provide great help and utility during a difficult time like this. Now, one of the first reactions that people have when they go through these experiences is they just need to get a bunch of things done. Now, there are some time-sensitive issues that you have to attend to, but there are many issues that you do not need to attend to, and you can defer them for a while and just give yourself a bit of a buffer, a little bit of time to navigate the emotional stress that you're going through. Now, I'm going to cover off some of the more immediate issues in a second, but one of the things I'd encourage you to do, if you do have a relationship with a financial planner, an advisor at your branch, an independent advisor, it's a really good idea to connect with that person, and just obviously they'll be made aware of what's happened in your family, and they will be able to very quickly let you know, okay, here are the 2 or 3 things we need to deal with right away, and here are the things that we can defer for a while. Don't worry about them. We'll connect again and we'll deal with those issues. So I'd encourage you to do that. If you have an advisor, make sure you connect with them. Now, one of the areas you'll need to take a look at is your current estate plan, and more specifically your will. And so for most people, when they have a partner, the estate plan is pretty simple. Through beneficiary designations or joint registration, when there's a first to die situation where you lose a partner, all financial assets and real assets like real estate will transfer to the surviving partner, and typically all those things will transfer on a tax-deferred basis. So administratively, it's simple to deal with. Typically, all that's needed at your financial institution, as an example, would be a death certificate from the funeral home and potentially a notarized copy of your will or original will. And then your advisor or financial institution with those documents can prepare the necessary forms to initiate a transfer. That's usually a very seamless, very quick process, particularly if the assets are not having to be probated. Now, when it comes to your will plan, the things you'll need to take a look at will be beneficiaries, and obviously the fact that your partner or spouse is no longer there. You'll need to revisit the distribution of your estate. Again, this is not an urgent item, so this would be one of the items that you can kind of defer for a little bit, but you do want to attend to it, so you just make sure there's a to-do there to look at your will, meet with your financial planner, your lawyer, to see what kind of revisions you need to make, and then have it revised. As well, you may need to revise your power of attorney. So typically, spouses will list each other as powers of attorney. If that's been the case and there's no contingent listed, you'll need to revisit that and come up with the name of someone, contact someone who could act as your power of attorney if required. Another area to think about, depending on the age of children, if you have children, now that your partner's gone, and if you're looking at your estate plan, there may be a requirement to have trust established depending on the age of your children. If your children are adults now, then you can revisit the distribution of assets, both property and financial assets, if something were to happen to you. So again, it's a good exercise just to review the overall estate plan. Another area that relates to estate planning or legacy planning would be your life insurance. So if you continue to carry life insurance and you have lost your spouse or partner, obviously beneficiary designations will need to be changed. Again, you can have your estate listed as the beneficiary. So upon your death, then your will outline how those death benefits should be distributed, or you could list specific individuals like your children as direct beneficiaries on your life insurance policies. And while we're on the topic of insurance, you'll want to make sure that you've got a to-do to take a look at your property, your general insurance coverages, vehicle insurance, maybe insurance on a cottage or recreational property if you have that. There'll have to be some adjustments to the policy in terms of name registration. And it's a good opportunity to look at the various features and policy characteristics, because maybe there needs to be a change made to those policies as well. As well, with the loss of a partner or spouse, it is really important that you sit down with your financial planner and revisit, if you're retired, your retirement income plan. If you're not retired, your overall financial planning. So some of those goals obviously are going to be impacted. So it's important you sit down with your advisor, kind of set the table again about your current reality financially, take a look at your income, your assets, and your financial goals. And so they may have to be adjusted, and your plan may need to be altered. It's a really good peace of mind exercise to go through. Again, this is not an urgent item that you have to attend to right away, but you want to make sure that a few months after the passing of a loved one, that you take the time to revisit your overall planning priorities. Really, really good peace of mind exercise to go through. Now, another reality, unfortunately, when there's a passing of a loved one is the requirement to have to deal with various government agencies. So one is the Government of Canada, obviously, and I'll just show you a web page. So what you should see on your screen right now is just a web page of Government of Canada website. And this particular link to this page I'll have in the show notes for this video. And it basically just talks about notifying the federal government upon death. There'd be similar kinds of websites provincially. So what you want to do is have a friend, have a family member, maybe you could do it, start investigating who needs to be contacted. Now, typically what you'll find is that the funeral home you're dealing with will often be a very good point of reference for these kinds of things. So they're going to be an immediate contact for you, and they're often pretty good at going through a laundry list of the things you need to get done and give you the resources to connect with the various government agencies. One common example would be things like Canada Pension Plan Survivor Benefit Payment. So they'll often walk people through that process to apply for that benefit. So if you look at this particular web page, it talks about a really good introduction here. It's saying we know that acting as a representative for someone who's passed is hard. This page is designed to hopefully make it a little bit easier. You may have to inform several federal programs or departments, agencies, depending on the deceased person's situation, where they've lived. Now, often if there's benefit programs or old age security benefits or Canada Pension Plan benefits, the reason you want to attend to those relatively quickly is that that income will continue until you've informed the government entity of the passing of a loved one. So you want to reduce the chances of having payments come into your bank accounts and then have the hassle of trying to get that money back to them because you've received payments that shouldn't have been paid into the account in the first place. So I'd encourage you to go to this particular page. It'll give you some starting points in terms of, at least with the federal government, some basic areas you need to attend to relatively quickly. Again, this is an area where you can maybe lean on a loved one. And like I said, some of this can be done with your funeral home director. They'll often have some helpful resources to go through with you on those items you need to attend to right away. And then one final point I'd make is that if you have a financial advisor, make sure you lean on your financial advisor. Over the years, I know for our practice, we've developed a fair amount of expertise, unfortunately, on estate settlement. So we've been doing this for years with our clients, and one of the transitions is the death of a partner or loved one. And we know what needs to be done very efficiently. And you want to make sure that you lean on your financial institution or advisor to help you on that, because they can probably give you some tips on how you can make it as pain-free as possible. So that basically summarizes a very quick review of this area. And obviously there will be other things you need to consider, but at least hopefully this will be a catalyst for some discussion as a family, and that it's helpful for you. Like I said, if you're new to our channel, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss future content. If you like the video, make sure you click like. As well, we have links in the show notes to our website so you can get other resources that might be helpful for you. And if you are beginning to think about retirement planning, maybe you're already retired and you'd like a second opinion or a plan update, you can go to our website. There's a link to our website homepage to find out how you can get a complimentary retirement income plan. Anyway, I'm wishing you all the best in your retirement and overall wealth planning. You take care.